Hello, YouTube. And this is what I worked on. I worked on two things, and sorry for forgetting to upload again, but I worked on a couple things, and just the soundboard and this project I created was fun because I got bored of working on other things. But basically, what it is a maze, right? It's a maze generator. But you may be wondering what this red thing is, what this green thing is, and what that yellow arrow is. Well, that's because I created a maze generator that uses the origin shift algorithm to create a perfect maze. And what this is the origin node, which is how like origin shift works basically. And what you do is that you just move this around, and it's broken. I don't know what I changed, but I think I broke something. But basically, what it's supposed to do is make all the walls, like cut through the walls and such. I don't remember what I changed to break that, but it doesn't work right now for some reason. But if it were working, if you were to move the origin node, I think I think I figured out the issue. I think it's because I don't think the mesh is updating when is supposed to be. Yeah, it's not updating because these arrows they point the direction the node is facing. So if you just move the node around, I don't know why it reverses. I gotta fix that, but if you move it around, it'll like shift the direction it's facing and such. I don't know which is reversed. Which is reversed. Either the arrow is reversed or something else or the other or the directions are reversed. But either way, the mesh isn't updating for some ungodly reason, and I have not had debug buttons to forcefully update it. But ignoring that, I know this works. You can have it move randomly around, and it will shift everything around. And the way this works, the way it randomly generates the maze is this exact same way. It basically, this randomness value is how many times it will iterate over the maze and randomly select a node or whatever to shift around basically. And because of the way this works, no matter where you put the entrance or exit, it will always lead to the origin node, and it will always be a maze that leads from one end to the other end. And another good benefit is navigation. Because of the way this works, you can have a AI walking through the maze, and it will know the perfect route every single time to go that leads to this origin node, and it will also know the perfect route to get as far away as possible. So what you can do is you can set the origin node to the player, and because the player won't be able to move through walls, it will be because the player can't move through walls, it will always, the nodes will always lead back to the player, which means if you have a AI that's trying to navigate to the player, anywhere on the maze will lead directly to the player, which is just perfect. It makes the computation a lot easier, unless it's like a a dead end. A dead end. I don't think it will be easy to navigate, but actually, no, 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 no. You can just go, whatever. It'll just be easier for AI to navigate because all the nodes will always be pointing towards the origin, or they should always be pointing towards the origin. Either way, um, this is a very, very good algorithm for what I'm trying to do. Because, I mean, this is just fun, but I mean, maybe for the car game I'm making, what I can do is a maze game mode where you go through the maze and sniff through it. That'd be pretty funny, a car drive through a maze. And yeah, that'd be pretty funny. Uh, I should work on the song. I made So it doesn't work right now. All it does is extract a zip file and try to check the GitHub for the latest release. Mm. I also added a downloader that lets you download it to whatever folder you want, and it lets you basically just download from whatever YouTube link you want. So I added a downloader to Soundboard, and I also made a installer for the Soundboard. It's not just like a generic installer that I made with using some random dudes like default whatever. I use a C/C++ compiler called Cosmopolitan, which lets you compile a executable that should be able to run on any platform. I've only tested it on Linux and Windows, but it should be functional on other operating systems too. And what I can then do is I can pull from the GitHub. I haven't implemented this yet, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull from the GitHub a zip file, which will contain a installer script and the executable itself, right? And the installer script just runs a bunch of commands that automatically installs the executable, and the if the installer doesn't find the executable for the operating system, then it will use a bundled payload and compile the executable itself using another installer script. So because this is made in .NET, I can have it so that the installer scripts check what operating system you're on, and then like this check what operating system you're on and uh, run the right script because on certain operating systems they use different kinds of scripts, but on Linux or a POSIX system such as Mac OS or Unix, you can do is you can run a installer.sh script and have that check if you have the right dependencies installed, and then install the program or compile the program if there's no found executable for said operating system. And for Windows, it's a .bat file, so I can just have that back if you have C# support functional. Because, I mean, Windows comes with .NET pre-installed, but it can check if you have the right version of .NET installed, and then install it, or not install it, and then install the program or compile the program. And yeah, very simple, very, very simple. Well, making this wasn't simple. I hate C++. It is the bane of my existence because it is so damn confusing. Just getting a font to work, I have fucking aneurysm. Like, that shit was so difficult because when I first created it, it didn't bundle all the libraries it used, like SDL and SDL fonts inside of the executable. So when I was having one of my friends test it, it didn't work. So I gave them the libs directory, but I forgot to like the directory that contains all the dependencies. But I forgot to give them the font too, so it didn't work. But now it's all included into the executable, and it self extracts all the required dependencies, which is so much better. And that just gave me a thought. What if I detect if your platform is Windows? If I detect your platform is a plastic system, I just have it run the required scripts, which um which automatically fetch from maybe not fetch from actually, yeah, like just make a script that automatically fetches from GitHub. I really don't need to do it in the C++, considering I do not particularly enjoy programming in C++. I mean, who does? C++ is the most god-awful language there is. But yeah, that would be a very simple way of just getting it to work.